He in here working. Get back on the mat. Get back on the mat.
Fight Canelo. Did you see opportunities for yourself?
Most definitely.
2023, Crawford's stunning 9th round stoppage of Spence to become the undisputed welterweight champion turned heads everywhere, confirming his spot as one of the sport's top fighters. At that moment, Crawford was at his peak, arguably unbeatable in the welterweight division, and the world had nothing but praise for him. If you give Terence Crawford the opportunity to fight Canelo Alvarez, he's gonna come out on top. He's gonna put him on the canvas for the first time in his career. I'm gonna step out and say it, bro. I think he can. 2025, Crawford had been vocal about his desire to face Canelo in a super middleweight showdown, moving up 2 weight classes from his usual fighting range. After making it clear that he was willing to take on the challenge, Crawford continued to push for the fight throughout 2024, despite the back and forth negotiations and disagreements between the two sides' whim at times, but I'm a different fighter. You know, I'm a different type of animal. So we're gonna see Canelo, who has already established himself as one of a fight with Canelo Alvarez would be a huge undertaking for a natural super middleweight, but Crawford's confidence and resolve cannot be understated. If the fight is made, it would mark a significant moment in boxing history. Could you tell us what's happening there and if that happens next? We'll see later. I believe that could be on the line without just saying, man, we can't say that it won't happen. Ability to outthink Canelo in the ring from 147 to 168, and the win became undisputed. Wow. Cemented his place among boxing's elite. This fight was especially notable because it marked his return to the ring after over a year of silence following his massive victory over Errol Spence Jr. in July. As the fight date approaches, fans are divided on who will come out on top. Some believe that Canelo's experience and power will prove too much for Crawford to handle, while others see Crawford as the fresher, faster fighter who can outpoint Canelo over the course of 12 rounds. What is clear, however, is that this is a fight that could have a lasting impact on both fighters' careers. For Canelo, a victory would further cement his legacy as one of the greatest of all time, while a loss could signal the beginning of the end of his reign at the top. For Crawford, a win over Canelo would be the crowning achievement of his career, securing his place among the legends of the sport. At the same time, Crawford is also mindful of the weight discrepancy between him and Canelo. While Crawford has been fighting in the 147-pound welterweight division, Canelo has had success in divisions ranging from middleweight to light heavyweight. The difference in size and strength is significant, and Crawford's camp has been working to ensure that he's in peak physical condition to handle the weight and power disparity. He's working not only on his speed and technique, but also on building strength, ensuring that he can absorb punches and push through Canelo's power without losing his agility or stamina. While Crawford has achieved a great deal in his career, including dominating in 2 different weight classes and defeating some of the best fighters in the world, Canelo presents a unique challenge. The Mexican fighter has been a mainstay at the top of the sport for years and is known for his ability to adjust his tactics mid-fight, making him one of the most difficult opponents in boxing. And Canelo's experience in higher weight classes, combined with his renowned technical skills, makes him a formidable opponent for Crawford, who will have to bring his A-game if he hopes to defeat the champion. What does this mean for MMA? I think it should. And I have my problems with Canelo, but beating the hell out of Canelo Crawford's dominance at welterweight and super welterweight weight, in addition to his performance against elite. But this fight is different. The challenge that Canelo presents is one that no fighter has been able to take lightly. His power is a serious concern for Crawford, as no one has been able to truly neutralize Canelo's knockout ability. His ability to stop opponents in their tracks with well-timed, brutal shots is one of his trademarks, and Crawford will have to be vigilant every second of the fight. Canelo's pressure style, built around cutting off the ring and relentless attacks, is another element that could give Crawford trouble. The Mexican fighter has made a career of wearing opponents down and breaking them physically and mentally over the course of a fight. This is where Crawford will need to be at his best, in his ability to avoid getting trapped, using his speed and footwork to create angles and move out of range before Canelo can unleash his trademark power. Canelo, on the other hand, enters the fight as the more experienced fighter at the top level. Despite being older than Crawford, Canelo still holds a tight grip on the super middleweight division, where he currently holds 3 of the 4 major belts. Canelo has shown time and again that he is a fighter with few weaknesses. His combination of raw power, precise boxing, and remarkable adaptability in the ring has made him one of the most dangerous men in boxing. And frankly, I think if it weren't really about money, both of us would leave. But the way he has dominated opponents in multiple weight classes, most notably in his successful campaign to become the undisputed super middleweight champion, has earned him a place among boxing's elite. However, Canelo's age and the wear and tear from his lengthy career could play a role in this upcoming fight, especially against a younger, faster, and more agile opponent like Crawford. Canelo, one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world, didn't seem necessary. There were other fighters to conquer, and Crawford, at least publicly, wasn't interested in challenging himself beyond what was in front of him. Put out an open challenge to you on the internet with Turkey Alash calling you out. What's your response to Terence Crawford's call out tonight? Not comments, but things have changed. Crawford's stance on fighting Canelo has evolved now. He's not just open to the idea, he seems desperate to make it. Consider a nearly flawless legacy. Although the reasons are obvious, the risk is also very real. Crawford has never fought at that weight before, so stepping up to 168 pounds to take on Canelo, especially without a catch weight, would be extremely difficult for him. The strain of gaining weight, the possibility of injury, and the challenge of competing against one of the greatest athletes in sports history are all factors that Crawford is aware of, but it's precisely this difficulty that seems to be motivating him. A few weeks ago, you heard what Terence "Bud" Crawford had. Crawford mentioned that it's a big risk for him because they talk about me getting heavier and having a hard time, but he went up in weight and lost, so he has that in the back of his mind. Let's not do that, Canelo. It's evident that Crawford views the chance to unseat Canelo as more than just a moment that would define his career. He sees it as a chance to upend the fight between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, which has now officially been confirmed for 2025, has sent shockwaves through the boxing world, igniting debates, predictions, and analyses from all corners of the sport. While the buzz surrounding the fight is at an all-time high, the stakes couldn't be higher for both fighters. Matchup promises to be a clash of styles, and with the contrasting strengths and histories of the two boxers, the anticipation has reached fever pitch. Both Crawford and Canelo bring their own unique qualities to the table, making this a fight that fans and pundits alike can't stop talking about. In 2 divisions, light welterweight and welterweight. His win over Errol Spence in 2023 further cemented his place among the elite in the sport, showcasing his ability to adapt, dominate, and remain calm under pressure. However, as Crawford approaches his next major challenge, the legendary Canelo Alvarez, there's a palpable sense that he's not content with just being great. He's pushing himself to become something more. Crawford's strengths lie in his speed, precision, and adaptability. He's a master of timing, and his ability to switch stances seamlessly makes him a difficult puzzle for any opponent. In past fights, Crawford has demonstrated his ability to take over a fight once he figures out his opponent's rhythm and weaknesses. His ability to execute counter punches with pinpoint accuracy has earned him a reputation as one of the most technically sound boxers in the world. Against Canelo, however, Crawford's ability to stay on the move, avoid prolonged exchanges, and maintain distance will be crucial. If he can successfully navigate Canelo's relentless pressure while exploiting the openings that come with Canelo's aggressive style, Crawford has a clear path to victory, documentation, and legacy. But now that the fight is real, we see a fighter who is confronting his own doubts head on. It's evident that Crawford is struggling with the challenge's magnitude, but he isn't backing down. The prospect of a fight between these two titans of the sport is exciting, but Crawford will need to lift 168 pounds to make it happen, which presents a number of difficulties. Crawford has never engaged in combat at this level of intensity. And facing Canelo already, edge in this fight, but like everyone else, he's waiting to see how it plays out. Shakur Stevenson, another rising star in boxing, also shared his take on the fight. Canelo is a warrior, but Crawford's IQ is something special. Stevenson said, "This isn't just about who's the bigger guy or who has the stronger punch. It's about who can think faster, adjust quicker, and find the openings Crawford can do." That Stevenson's praise of Crawford's boxing mind echoes what many fans believe is the key to victory. For Crawford, this fight is another step in his remarkable career, one that has already seen him dominate 2 weight classes, becoming the first fighter in the modern 4-belt era to be undisputed in 2 divisions. His win over Errol Spence in 2023 solidified his position as one of the best pound-for-pound boxers in the world. Crawford's willingness to move up in weight and take on bigger challenges speaks to his unrelenting desire to cement his legacy as one of the greatest fighters of his generation. Yet, despite all of his past triumphs, this fight with Canelo represents a new level of challenge. The super middleweight division, where Canelo has reigned supreme for years, presents a different set of obstacles. But Crawford has already made it clear that he isn't intimidated. For Crawford, this fight is more than just about proving that he can beat Canelo. It's about proving that he can overcome any challenge that's put in front of him. His recent history of facing top-tier competition has made him a well-rounded fighter, capable of adjusting to different styles and overcoming adversity. From his dominance in the lighter weight classes to his performances in the welterweight division, Crawford has shown time and again that he has the tools to beat anyone. Welcome to the show. But Canelo is a different kind of challenge. His power, technique, and experience in the ring are a cut above, and Crawford knows that he will need to be at his absolute best to claim victory. And one of the most exciting aspects of this matchup is the way these 2 fighters' styles contrast. Crawford's boxing IQ and technical prowess are his biggest assets, while Canelo's power, combined with his experience and ability to apply pressure, make him a formidable opponent. Crawford's speed and precision could serve as the perfect counter to Canelo's brute force, and it will be fascinating to see which style ultimately prevails in the ring. The matchup isn't just a test of skill, but a mental battle as well. Crawford will need to stay composed and make adjustments as the fight unfolds, while Canelo will look to impose his will and force Crawford into uncomfortable situations. Any challenge. However, there are still a number of factors that make this potential fight extremely difficult for Crawford. For example, going from 154 pounds to 158 pounds is no small feat, especially when you're up against a fighter like Canelo, who has spent years building his legacy in that division. Canelo is a naturally bigger fighter, and while he wants $200 million for benefits and $150 million to fight me, even though you know you would make all that money. That tells me right there that I'm a threat to him and his legacy. Has the Canelo fight really left your mind once he said he's not interested, or are you still pursuing it? I think business talk, because these words show an interesting change in Crawford's thinking. He's no longer only thinking about the money or huge, and even the most self-assured fighters can feel the weight of such a difficult task. Terence Crawford declared, "I would love a catchweight fight at 158 with Canelo. It's going to be really difficult for me to reach that weight, and I respect Crawford because he's a fantastic fighter." Crawford may have initially rejected the idea of fighting at 168 pounds because he wasn't sure he could pull it off, or perhaps because he didn't want to jeopardize his undefeated record. And while running is not all athletic activity, Frost found a keen interest in the challenge of the count. I'm not really sure what it means, but advance in the art of fighting Canelo Alvarez. I'm not sure whether it indicates that Crawford is so exceptional that he can do that, or that Charlo set the standards so low that anybody can surpass it. Something urged me to study Canelo and Crawford when I woke up at 3 in the morning. He started by saying that Crawford was going to beat the living daylights out of Canelo Alvarez. He's going to beat the brakes off of Canelo Alvarez, I'm telling you now. Bradley is clearly confident and outspoken, yet in conversations surrounding the fight, Crawford has repeatedly stated that every fight is an opportunity to grow his legacy. His words resonate with a deep understanding of the sport. Boxing is a constantly evolving game, and fighters are only as good as their most recent performance. To stay at the top, a fighter must constantly evolve and test themselves against the best. Crawford's desire to take on Canelo is an indication that he is not simply satisfied with past achievements, but is driven by the pursuit of greatness. In discussing the fight, Crawford has made it clear that he doesn't view Canelo's reputation as a roadblock, but as a motivation. He's aware of Canelo's achievements and accolades, but he remains unfazed. Crawford's mindset seems to be that while Canelo is undeniably great, every fighter has their weaknesses, and it's his job to exploit them. This level of strategic thinking is what makes Crawford such a dangerous fighter. He's not just relying on brute strength or power, he's using his intelligence and ring awareness to craft a plan that will give him the best possible chance of victory. Is that many boxing fans are excitedly awaiting this possibility. So let's all wait. Tim Bradley, a former world champion and 2WE championship holder, has expressed his views on the fight's conclusion. Bradley, who is renowned for his analysis and candid ideas, recently offered his predictions for the fight, and his assessment of the possible outcome has drawn a lot of attention. Bradley, who is renowned for his straightforward approach to boxing analysis, was fairly direct in his own evaluation. It all boils down to boxing principles. While Canelo's strength at 168 pounds is indisputable, he feels that Crawford's superior footwork, defensive skills, and ring generalship would enable him to dodge Canelo's best punches and control the fight's pace for Bradley. Bradley believes that Crawford would have a clear edge over Canelo in a battle because he believes that Crawford is a boxer who is not just talented, but also intelligent, capable of controlling a fight and making changes as necessary. What sparked this change? It seems that the motivation behind his decision lies in something deeper than just the titles, or legacy. Crawford himself has admitted that Canelo is the primary driving force behind his renewed push for greatness. I do wonder how effective Crawford can be if he keeps moving up in weight. You're starting to see that, now he's not quite as strong. The knockout streak is over, but he can box really, really well. Will press him the whole fight, so if he would ever consider moving up to face Canelo Alvarez at 168 pounds, Crawford flatly rejected the idea. 168, I ain't going up there, he said in a clip resurfaced by Sporting News. It wasn't that Crawford didn't believe he could take on Canelo. It was more about the magnitude of the challenge. Moving up 2 weight classes from 154 lb to 156 lb isn't something that can be done lightly. One division, he's aiming for something even bigger. He's seeking to become the first boxer in history to be undisputed in 3 different weight classes. His target, Canelo Alvarez, the Mexican legend who has ruled the super middleweight division for years. The idea of this fight became a reality thanks to His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh, who played a major role in making this all happen. Turki's involvement brought the fight into focus, and now, thanks to his efforts, this dream matchup will become a reality. For both fighters have their strengths and both have weaknesses that could be exposed on the night. Gervonta Davis, who is known for his explosive power, waited on the fight during a recent interview. Canelo is a beast, Davis said, but Crawford is a different kind of fighter. His ability to switch between orthodox and southpaw is something Canelo has never faced before. It's going to be a challenge for both of them, but I think Crawford has the tools to win. Davis, who has made his own mark in the sport, believes Crawford has the do so, and Bradley could have faith in Crawford's capacity to meet these obstacles. How Crawford's body will react to the weight increase is yet unknown. Even Crawford's extraordinary skills may not be sufficient to overcome Canelo's height and strength advantage, and not many fighters can successfully switch weight classes. But Bradley's faith in Crawford's abilities appears to stem from the belief that Crawford is not only technically sound, but also mentally tough enough to handle the situation. As the negotiations for this super fight proceed, many people are left wondering if Crawford can actually pull off one of the most amazing feats in boxing history. It would be a monumental task to move up 2 weight classes to face a dominant champion like Canelo. But if anyone has the talent and mindset to do it, it's Terence Crawford. Crawford is capable of doing what he has to do because he has the balls of Crawford. Crawford is a canine. Fans are left to guess and hope that an official announcement will be made soon. So I won't declare a lion is a dog just yet. One of the most anticipated fights in recent boxing history is the possible matchup between Canelo and Crawford. And it's obvious that the top figures in the sport are already debating it fiercely. Will the Mexican champion prove to be too strong for Crawford, or will his brilliance be sufficient to defeat Canelo? Please leave your comments below, and remember to like additionally for additional updates, subscribe to the channel.